Ladies and gentlemen, how are you for your Friday night? It is great to see you. I am running very late. I was uh I was at a market. I was down in the city at Queen Victoria Market, getting some shopping. And Sean says banana shortage in Australia. Well, not at the market because they're $1.99 a kilo. They were very cheap, and I have a banana every day, so they were quite cheap at the markets. Rachel, hey, good to see you. Hey, Lynn D, Marilyn Landis, April B, Tharvy's here. Hey, Tharvy, Mister, my friend Danny. Hey, Danny, how are you? And Andrew's here too. Hey, mate. Yeah. So we were down at the market. So it's about an hour drive from here. So we were a little tied up and had to make it back here. 80 cent a banana from Woolworth Supermarket. Go to the markets and the markets are way cheaper. All right. Hey, Deborah. Good to see you. Hey, James. Sorry, James. Jonna. Jonna, is that how you say your name? Good to see you. Good to see you. It's good to see everyone. Two tornadoes touched down in Tennessee. Wow. In Feb. I mean, it's a very early spring tornado season. Very early. All right. We have a lot to get to tonight. A lot to get to. I had many complaints about too much Megan coverage last night. Apparently, people were like, "There was too much Megan coverage, too much boring trial stuff." But the trial today was really interesting. So I'm going to go through a couple of things and then we'll move on. Uh, if you ask Ping what was today about, I really don't think the theme has changed that much from yesterday and the day before. It was more sort of more building the prosecution's case. They were more building this type of picture they want you to see about who Megan Boswell is, and that picture that they want you to see is of a selfish, irresponsible person. That's what they want you to see. They want you to see someone who had all, well, not all, but they wanted to show that this girl is not what the defense says. Hey guys, good to see you. It's not what the defense says. The defense is trying to say that this was a young girl who was very scared and didn't know what to do and had no support. That's not true. We heard from many people today, many people, many people that would have easily given up their own time to either look after Evelyn or you know put their own priorities aside to help Megan and Evelyn. That was very clear, speaking and hearing from these people who had a lot of love. But the big one was today. The big one today. We heard from Ethan. Heard directly from Ethan, the guy who was supposedly Evelyn's father, who is actually in reality not Evelyn's father. And as a guy, I'm a dude. I can relate to his feelings. I could read him on the stand, right? It's you could see part relief that one, this is not his child, and he doesn't have a child who's been killed. But on the other hand, he's pissed off that he's been dragged along into a murder trial and that he has been lied to about the paternity of this young girl, and some loss of that because he doesn't have a daughter. It's not his daughter, and he doesn't have any children. Well, not in this particular case anyway. And every time they brought up the paternity on the stand, you could almost see him grinding his teeth. Like it's a sore spot for him. You can tell, and you could tell it. He's a very pleasant guy. Gave very good testimony today, but as soon as they brought up the paternity, his jaw clenched. He started getting very terse. Not angry or anything. Just you could see him just tighten up. It was obviously a very sore point for him, and We heard from him that when Megan announced her pregnancy, way, way back before Evelyn was ever born, he was doing the math in his head going, you know, I was home at Christmas, you know, I banged her on like, you know, it was near New Year's. That was the last time I saw her. So 30 days and, you know, a missed period and like something doesn't seem right here. Like he was saying to everyone like, whoa, something doesn't seem kosher here because he's like the math didn't work out. When she announced her pregnancy with Evelyn, it was months after he'd been home. And I can imagine him sitting there just going, wait a second, wait, I saw her at Christmas. Wait, you know, it's just like 1 month and she's pregnant and like, hey, how does this work? And it's like 3 months later. I mean, he must have been going, I'm pretty sure I went to biology class and this is not the way pregnancy works. Like, she should be like 3.5 months pregnant by now if it was my child. But he said he wanted to be a good person. He went along with it until he could prove otherwise. And he just sort of kept Evelyn and Megan, whatever you want to call her, at an arm's length until basically what she did is he was sort of saying, "Oh, you know, I'm very busy in the army. You know, we're on this great mission protecting the border, the southern border." And she's like, "Oh, come home." And he's like, "No, I don't really want to do that." So she packed up her and the kid and drove all the way to was it New Mexico or Texas, one or the other, and just drove down there. Spur of the moment, no arrangements, no anything, and basically forced him to take time off to visit them in a motel. So basically forced him to take time off and go hang out in a motel. He says they hung out mostly in the motel, and then on the second to last day they went to the zoo. They went to the zoo and hey, is Snap Crackle here? Hey, my friend. I saw Snap Crackle watching the trial. We were both watching the trial this morning. Hey, Snap Crackle. Hey, Flyer B. Flyer B says, I also felt sorry for Hunter's dad and especially Hunter. Loved the looks Caitlin made towards MB. Yes, definitely. I wonder if we can play that. I'll see if I can load that up. Yeah, Hunter's dad just seemed like, what the hell did I get involved with? He was like, I just don't want any of this. Why am I here? Can I go back to having my pimento sandwiches and watching the golf, please? He just seemed like he was a good old Southern boy and just wanted to go home. Yeah, there was a lot of people that just were like, "What the hell? Why are we here? We shouldn't be here." But yeah, the Ethan's testimony I think was the big one today. I think he provided a lot of context into their relationship, and we still don't know who the father is. I don't know if we're ever going to find out during the trial. We still don't know who Evelyn's biological dad is. You know, I was talking to Mrs. Ping about it earlier, and she was saying, she's like, well, if Ethan left after the holidays and went back to his base, she must have known who she was sleeping with in like later, like in a couple months' time. Like she must have known who she had sexual relations with. It's not like she's, you know, that Annie girl from England, and she's like, 1,000 guys in one day. No, 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 no. So she must have a fair idea of who the dad is. Like, who is it? It's not like, you know, she's not Annie, Bonnie Blue from the UK. It's not like she's, you know, it's not like I did 1,000 guys in 24 hours. No, not that. Um, yeah, MB destroyed so many people with her alleged lies and actions. And I hold on, let me see if I can grab it. I think that's the picture they've been painting for like 3 days. Is just Megan, whatever you want to call her, that woman. She lied to everyone. I don't think she told the truth to anyone. I don't think she told the truth to her family. I don't think she told the truth to Ethan. I don't think she told the truth to the police. I don't think she told the truth to her best friend. I don't think she told the truth to her grandparents. No one. She lied and got her stories going around in circles for to everyone. And she implicated Ethan in everything to everyone. Oh, she's with her dad, Ethan. Ethan's got her. Oh, she's with. That's what all the witnesses said today. That every time they spoke with her, uh, Evelyn was with Ethan, and that Ethan had her, and that's why they couldn't see Evelyn is because she was with Ethan, and that's what she told everyone. So yeah, I'm convinced uh, that she is a pathological liar. 100%. She lies so easily, so quickly, and she's able to loop her lies. And you'll see it. I'll play the interview in 2 minutes. There's another interview, another police interview they did today, and you'll see her try to build on her lies throughout the interview. And as they try and kind of direct her and be like, "Oh, what about this or what about that?" It's she just kind of pivots, and she did that in the first interview too. Yeah, she didn't tell herself the truth. No, I don't. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Apparently, our cat is mental. The Rory, our cat, is a naughty cat. She just knocked everything off the table. Good work, Rory. Let me see here. Yeah, she is a liar, liar, pants on fire. And the other thing I think we saw today was they were building that story of neglect. And how they did that today was they showed you a lot of the items they found in that shed, dollhouse, any other name you can come up with for it. They showed us. So what they were trying to show today is they had the bottles and blankets and nappies and onesies and that type of thing, and they were showing how they were dirty, especially the baby's clothes. The Evelyn's clothes were covered in, I don't know what the nicest way to put this is, but baby poop. Just baby poop over everything. And this goes along with the stories we heard from other people that said Megan didn't change Evelyn often enough to the point where Evelyn ended up with that very severe nappy rash. And they were, yeah, I will show you a little bit, but it is really like nasty, really nasty the way she left all. Because apparently she was going to try to say that this was stuff she was putting away in case she had another child, but you would think if that was the case, one, you would treat it with more respect and you would clean it and like fold it up and put it in a snaplock bag and, put it in a, container and put it away in storage and be like, well, if I ever have another child, I've got more clothes. No, no. This stuff was just strewn all over that playhouse, just just like she did with like Evelyn, just threw it all in there like it was trash and didn't clean it. There was bottles that were filled with milk, still with milk or formula that was in it that she never washed out and just sort of, ugh. All right, let me take you to that interview so I can shut my stupid face up. Hold on. I talk too much. Hold on. But hey, that's why I have a live show so I can talk too much. All right, let me go here. Oh, that's my link. Let me just cue this up and then I want you guys to listen to the interview. This is courtesy of WCYB News 5 in Tennessee. I just want to cue up this interview. It's right at the start of the day. Where is it? Alright, maybe ping's going mental. There's that one, they had the first witness, they spoke to the second witness, and there should be an interview here with Megan. Sorry, guys, I hate having, blank air. I would have had this all, set up, but I literally got in from the market about 10 minutes ago. Let me see if I can find it. They had that long recess. Where is it? Okay. Huh. I can't find it. Oh, that's alright. We're gonna hear from Ethan very quickly. I'd like if he has to, say if I can get him on the stand. Alright, here's Ethan, the guy I think we all wanted to hear from, and this was after a short recess, so let's do that.
Who were they? Carl and Sherry Perry. Did you also, as you were growing up, for a period of time, live with Paul Miller? Yes, sir. And who is Mr. Miller to you? He is my step grandfather. And when did you live with him? Since birth until about 2010. Okay. And how old were you at that time? Oh, about 10 or 11. Okay. So at that point in time, did you go to live with Carl and Sherry? Yes, sir. Okay. Now, you mentioned you had a dating relationship with Miss Boswell until you graduated from high school. When was it that you graduated? 2017. And would that have been, what month did you graduate? May, and I believe it was May 21st. Okay, so end of May? Yeah. All right. What did you do after you graduated from high school? Joined the Army. And how soon after you graduated from high school did you join the Army? 10 days, on May 31st. Did you go straight into basic training at that time, or? Not straight in. There were some hiccups along the way. I had some medical issues, but it was relatively quick. Yes. All right. Where were you stationed? I went to basic at Fort Benning, Georgia, and then I was sent to my unit in Fort Polk, Louisiana. Did you continue to keep in contact with Megan Boswell while you were at basic training? Yes. Okay. Did you
So they sort of ramble about this. This is sort of like an introduction, like, "Who are you?" Like, get to know Ethan for about 2 minutes, and then we start getting into the nitty-gritty of him and Evelyn and Megan's relationship.
say you were still in a dating relationship at that time? I'd say so, yeah. How were you keeping in contact with her? In basic training, mostly through letters. But by the time it was over, text. Okay. Yeah. You didn't have a phone while you were? It was like once a month we got our phone, but it was only for like 30 minutes. I can't really remember any conversations that we had specifically. But you were still continuing to communicate with her the old-fashioned way by writing letters. Correct. Okay. So as your time in the Army continued, did you continue to have a relationship with Miss Boswell? Yes. Okay. And at some point in time, did you come back home to Tennessee? Yes. And when was that? Probably the first time would have been in probably the winter of 2017. Okay. For Christmas. Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah. All right. So you had leave. You came home at Christmas time. Is that right? Correct. All right. Where did you stay when you came back? With Carl and Sherry Perry. All right. Did you have contact with Miss Boswell while you were here? Can't remember for sure, but I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. Y'all were still in a relationship. Is that fair statement? Sure. Okay.
You see that little smirk then about the prosecutor asking, "Were you two still in like a relationship?" And he sort of goes, sorta." That tells me that he didn't see her as a long-term relationship anymore. She was the girl he went home to what's the nicest way I can put this? To be with a woman again because he's been stuck in an army unit for a year. That's what it seems like he was doing with her. Basically, coming home, getting some, you know, getting some hairless cat, and then heading back to training. It's the nicest way I can put it. Um, yeah, it doesn't seem like he had real any interest in a long term relationship with her at all. It seems like he was just using her for sex, and I mean, I can't blame him. He's probably like, "Hey, I got a girl at home. As soon as I get home, I'm gonna tap on the end of that sauce bottle." So good for him, but now he's in a murder trial. So
Well, if it's not, tell me.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a healthy relationship, but a relationship, yeah.
All right. You saw her while you were here in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, at some time in 2018, did you learn that she was pregnant?
Yes.
And when was that?
I would have probably around March or April.
Did the two of you have any discussion about who the father of the child was?
Yes.
Okay. And what was that discussion?
Well, it was more of whenever she announced that she was pregnant, it seemed pretty delayed. You know, it seemed like she would have known sooner. Well, you know, the time that I was in, but yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask it this way: was there discussion made about the fact that you were the father of the child?
There was, yeah.
Okay. Did you assume that you were the father of the child?
Initially, yeah, I just rolled with it, but yeah, the blinders were taken off pretty quickly after that. Yeah.
You had some doubts?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in November 2018, she had her child, Evelyn, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Where were you stationed at the time that Evelyn was born?
sorry, I should have stopped it before then. But you hear him say, like, when he heard of the pregnancy, he was concerned. He had doubts that that child, or who she, the baby she was pregnant with at the time that we now know is Evelyn, was not his. He had feelings that something not quite adding up here. Lindy says that's not a nice way to put it. I'm sorry. I tried to use as many euphemisms as I could. I used as many without saying mean things about her.
Fort Polk, Louisiana.
Were you still in contact with Megan during this whole time?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, at some point in time, did you leave your assignment there at Fort Polk?
When? What year? What time?
After this would have been November 2018.
Not.
So I think here is where they actually detail the time. I think so anyway, where they detail the time where Megan just travels to his base and stays at a hotel. He knows she's there because she took a photo of the hotel, and he said it was obvious she was in Texas. Like he was like, it's like it ain't Tennessee, and he had no choice but to go and spend time with them because what kind of person would he be to just be like, have fun in that hotel? I'm on duty. So he went and spent time with them.
Not in November, no.
Okay. Sometime later on?
For Christmas in like December, yes.
Okay. Where were you assigned at that point?
Fort Polk still.
Okay. So you came back home?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see Megan and Evelyn at that time, or?
I did not.
Okay. Is there a reason why you didn't see her then?
Mostly just over the legitimacy and, still trying to figure that out. It was just really embarrassing, I guess.
And this is where the life lesson for all men and women out there is, as soon as that child is born, if anyone is claiming that you are a mother, a father, whatever, you go to court, you get your paternity or maternity validated, and you do your bit, you pay your child support, and you take your child for whatever your custody arrangement says. That's the first thing you do. You don't wait, whatever this was, 12 months, 15 months, actually later. I don't think he found out until after Evelyn had died. So this is a life lesson for a lot of people. If some girl is calling you, telling you that you are the father of that child, then you're going to ask for a DNA test, because unfortunately, and as sad as it is, there are women out there that will trap men with pregnancy. There just is. I don't know if they think it's somehow going to repair their relationship. It's somehow going to, I don't know, make it better somehow, but it never does. And yeah, make sure you get that DNA test, because there have been guys who have raised children till they were 18 and then found out they are not the father. So make sure you find out. A bit of stalking behavior. It was a little stalkerish to travel all the way down there. Sean said, I don't care if you're the Pope. That's right. If you're the Pope, you get a DNA test. Kathy says, so there's this thing called birth control. Yeah, look, that would have solved a lot of issues too. There's a few ways you can go about it. There's things we can't talk about on this channel. All right.
All right.
Argue over it.
Not having a good relationship at that time.
That too, yeah.
Okay. So you leave after Christmas, you go back to the Army?
Correct.
Okay. Still in Louisiana?
Yes.
Okay. At some point in time during 2019, were you reassigned, or was your unit sent somewhere else?
We were sent to El Paso, Texas to assist Border Patrol doing surveillance on the border. We would work from El Paso to the Santa Monica station in New Mexico.
You remember when in 2019 that would have been?
I'd guess March through September.
Okay.
That's my guess.
All right. Now, at some time later on in 2019, did Miss Boswell show up to visit you while you were stationed in El Paso, Texas?
She did.
Okay. Was this a planned visit? Did you know she was coming?
No, it was hasty. It's a hasty visit.
Okay. Well, if you would kind of tell us how that happened, or how it was that she ended up showing up down there.
Well, the conversation started with her wanting me to take leave to go up to come back up here to Bluntville. And I told her, no, we have a mission here in El Paso. I can't just get up and leave, And so she decided to, on her own, to drive from here all the way to El Paso. And it took her I'd say about 2 days to get there. And all of a sudden, one morning while because we were staying in hotels, we weren't on a base or anything. I just get a picture from her. She was parked outside of the hotel and just took a picture of the hotel. So
drove hundreds of miles after being told no, and just appeared at the place he was staying in El Paso. Just appeared. No, not planned. I think Rachel is a little bit right. It is a little stalkerish. It's a little possessive. It's also a power play. You're traveling that far with your newborn daughter. She's not that old. I think she would have been like 6 months old at the time. You're traveling that far to go visit a guy that isn't the father. So you want a guy who Megan knows this. Like, Megan knows for a fact that he is not the dad. She knows. 1,000%. Girls ain't dumb. They're not like, hey, I slept with that guy in January and I'm pregnant in March. He must be the father. Not the guy I slept with in Feb. Not that guy. That can't be it. Has to be the guy in December. No. That's not how that works. She would know 1,000% that he is not the dad. So to try and force him to take on a parental role like this at a drop of a hat, yeah, it's entrapment. She was trying to force this kind of like happy family unit, and my my baby daddy's in the army type of thing, and I've got a military man. It's really sad. It's sad, and I feel somewhat sorry for him because he now has to leave this courtroom, and he doesn't have a daughter. Whoever this girl he used to sleep with is probably going to go to jail for a long period of time, and he has to go try and rebuild his life. So that is hard to do. At least he's a young man. He's not that old. He has a chance to do that. But like, if you were like 40 and this happened to you, I think it would be a lot more devastating. Not that it's not devastating, but I think your chances of having to be able to move on and start again is a lot harder. I don't know. It's been there since day one. I don't know what the judge is so fond of. Maybe it's a hint. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe we're going to the moon, everyone. Maybe we're going to the moon. Retirement is trying to force him. Yeah, I know. Can you just leave your military deployment and come home? I don't think military people can do that. I think they get in trouble, don't they? They get in trouble if that happens. Yeah, you get basically AWOL'd, and you'll get court-martialed if you do stuff like that. Like, that's like he said, we had a mission, we wanted to complete it. I couldn't leave. So what did she do? Drive 1,000 miles and try and join him in Texas to a guy who's not the dad. All right.
Yeah.
You knew at that point she was in Texas.
Yeah. It was pretty obvious at that point.
Okay. So what did you do?
Well, I mean, part of me just wanted to turn him away, but the other half was like, well, came all the way out here, may as well just stay. So I advised them to stay on the eastern end of El Paso because the western end is a little dangerous. And so, and then from there, we spent about 3 or 4 days together.
Okay. So did you take some time off of your work assignment there and go spend time with Megan and Evelyn?
Not officially, but yeah.
Okay. What did you all do?
I think the first day we just hanged out in the hotel room, just meeting Evelyn, playing patty cake, stuff like that, watching her walk around. And it was mostly that. We went to the El Paso Zoo. That was like, I think, the second to last day. And then on the last day, we mostly just hanged out in the hotel. The last day, the last thing we did was we went to an IHOP, and that was the last time I physically saw Evelyn.
That was the last time I physically saw Evelyn. And he goes on to explain, which I'm not going to play. He goes on to explain that when Evelyn did go missing, I'm going to say go missing in quotes here, investigators did contact him and they wanted to interview him like that day. They sent people to his base and he was in interrogation for like, I think he said 8. I don't know if he said, but I've read he was in interrogation for 8 hours. They really thought he had the child because of what she said. Because she said that he took the child, they thought they were dealing with a man who had killed his child, buried that child on the military base, and was lying about it. And they had bailed him up on the military base in a makeshift interrogation room, and were hassling this man about this child that he hadn't seen in over, like, I think it was like 6 months or something like that. Yeah. So he's just sitting there going, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen the child in like since she came down here with the baby. I don't know what you're talking about." And yeah, so that would have been a fun day for him in front of all his work colleagues, in front of all his military buddies. They're like, oh, and they searched his room, they searched his car, they lab tested things, they took swabs, they took samples, ripped apart everything. No, so I think the way he explained it was he was on deployment and they were not staying at a base at that time because they were on a deployment. So instead of staying on an army base, they were staying in a hotel, and she turned up at that hotel. So I guess they just stayed in his room at the hotel. At least that's the way it read to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but from my listening to it, like that's the way I took it. It doesn't sound like they got a different hotel. It sounds like they just stayed in his room. But are you allowed to do that with the military? I don't know. Someone would have to tell me. Maybe they got a separate room at the same place. I have no idea. Lindy says he poor guy. Someone said something up here about Hunter. I called him Travis the other day. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why. Do you know what it is? There's a quarterback called Travis Hunter, and for some reason, every time I hear the word Hunter, I think their name must be Travis, and I have no idea why. So just forgive me for that. Flyer B says, I pray that Hunter can get the help he needs so that one day he can rebuild his life. Yeah, there was a thing today where they were speaking to his dad, and they were saying something like, "Do you know he's violent, had delusions, has all these mental health issues?" And I think his dad was like, "No, I've never seen anything like that before. Nothing like that with him." So I mean, he got caught up in a pretty messed up situation, and I'm pretty sure that Hunter dropped her as soon as he realized there was a lot of police activity around Megan. I think he tried to get out of it. That's why the car got reported stolen. I think like a bunch of other things. I think he was like, "Oh crap, who is this crazy woman?" And he tried. I do agree though. I think both these men have been taken for a ride by this absolute con artist and liar. So. Oh, I understand he was at the hurt. Didn't understand how the three of them could stay in his room. I don't know. I guess it's only a baby and another woman, so I guess the two shared the bed. Maybe they got a cot for the baby, or maybe she brought a bassinet or something. I don't know. I guess that's probably all it was. Jonna, what did Jonna say? Oh, they stayed at a different hotel. Okay, all right. Thanks. I couldn't quite hear it, even though I've listened to it about 5 times today. Yeah, okay. So yeah, maybe they got a different hotel. But either way, it's still crazy behavior. Who does that? Who drives that far just to go see a guy who is not the father of your child? Bizarre. Don't think they would allow to. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that you'd be allowed because normally wouldn't you bunk with someone in a military? Don't they like to save money? So if you were in some sort of hotel, you would at least have one roommate. I don't think they would. Yeah, they would have had a roommate, and they would have. Yeah, like a barracks. It probably would have had the whole hotel reserved for them. Probably, that's right. Hey, Alaska, how are you? Hey, Nanalana. Yeah, so that was one of the more interesting bits today, hearing directly from Ethan. That's what I had been waiting for, and we got it fairly quickly on day 3. I think it paints a picture of an 18-year-old girl who is absolutely delusional. Delusional. She's running this kind of scam with everyone, and she's telling people and say that's Evelyn's dad, and I don't know what she expected. And then she tried to tell the children police, the what they call it, CDS or whatever. She tried to tell them that there was an emergency court hearing and he took the child. Don't you think those people would have those records if that indeed did happen? Out of all the police departments and child services, and don't you think the one people that would have access to your children's court records would be the investigators from them? Like they would definitely know about it. They would definitely know. Indicated was called a baby. What? Hunter's dad indicated Hunter was being called a baby. I don't know what the K word is, but sounded like that sent him to a very bad. Oh, okay, I get you. I get what you mean. Sorry, I pieced it together now. Okay, he was being caught. Yes, okay. So it sounded sent him to a very bad place mentally. He got caught up in something that's really, really. I don't know. I don't know if I could have dealt with that if I was his age. I don't know if any of us could. I really don't. if you put yourself in Hunter's shoes, you're working at he owns that chicken shack, right? Or he just worked there, I'm not sure. But he's at the chicken shack, he gets Megan in, she helps him. They sort of have this relationship that starts somewhat slowly, and they sort of get together, and then he finds out there's a missing child. I don't know, I could have dealt with that at his age, so I agree that it would be very hard mentally, and then to cop the onslaught from the media, because a lot of people thought he did it. Very early on, there was a lot of people who thought he was the one responsible for killing the child. And then if you listen to the court, what did the defense say on day one? They said, well, what if Hunter rolled over and killed her in the middle of the night? She's still trying to blame it on one of the guys in her life. Well, it didn't work. We tried to blame it on Ethan. That didn't work. So hey, let's just try blame it on my boyfriend at the time. Never takes responsibility for anything. I think that's the lesson we've learned. He owned the business. Yeah, I thought that was the case. I just didn't want to misspeak. I remember when Evelyn first went missing, he was described as the chicken shack owner back when this first happened. I just thought my memories were playing tricks on me. Rachel said Hunter was saying, yeah, but his dad did. Oh, it's the same thing, right? Dad owns it, you own it. Your dad's your dad. I sort of get it. This is Ethan. No, this is Ethan. This was the man who uh Megan said was the father of Evelyn, that we found out later on. A DNA test has confirmed that he is not the father. He is not Evelyn's biological dad. He, for a short period of time, what's the best way you could put it? He played dad. Does that make sense? He sort of took on the role very tentatively of Evelyn's father, but very, very, shaky. Don't know. We don't know. I don't know if we're going to find out during the trial. I don't know if that's their big bombshell they're going to drop at the end and tell us all who the dad is, but we don't know. At least I don't know. I've listened to every hour. I have every court day on my computer, and I just listen for hours and write notes. Every morning I wake up and I start from the first minute, and I listen all 8 hours, and I just write notes for hours. And I don't remember hearing anything about who the real biological father of Evelyn is. Not yet, anyway. So we don't know. You are not the father. I reckon they should have done that in court, eh? They should have got Jerry Springer, and they could have handed him the DNA test and be like, "You are not the father," and then he could have started running around and had his hands in the air. Actually, I think this judge may have not liked that. He is very strict, including earlier today they tried to get a mistrial. If I can find it. And I'll show you what they'll bitching about. Where is it? Is it right here? Let me go back here. It is right here. Is it right here? Yes, it's this lady. Yes, okay. So they brought up this slide, okay? And you can see here it's Erica Stacy. She's on the stand. They're just like, oh, hey, how's Evelyn? Did you have a good Christmas? But the bit that the defense had a problem with was this message down the bottom, this big blue one. And you can see it says Megan Boswell. Maggie Wood 23 is her screen name. And it sort of has this blue box here. But this is not what it's supposed to be. It says here, it has a composite of many messages in one, but they're supposed to show it to the jury the way it happened. They're not supposed to edit it. They're not supposed to, change anything about the wording or the flow of the conversation. They have to show you what came off the phone directly. So This thing here is, I think, a record that they pulled from the phone dump of the phone. Now, sometimes when you get these records, they're all sort of squished together, but this almost looks like a someone was taking notes or something, and they left a note here that someone was supposed to turn into messages like this, but they didn't, and they left it in here without editing it correctly. When the defense saw this, they were basically, I don't know, they threw up an objection and tried to get a mistrial. And the judge basically went, it's not, egregious enough to warrant a mistrial. And it wasn't deliberate, nor does it sway the jury in any real way. It's not if you was doing something like hiding evidence, if you're a prosecution who had some sort of bombshell evidence that could prove her innocent, or even guilty, but more like it's something that would go against the prosecution, and the prosecution held that back, and then they somehow found out during trial, oh my God, we never got that. And they threw up an objection for that, and then a mistrial, a request for a mistrial. That might get a mistrial, but not this. This is just an editing mistake. The defense tried to say this is deliberate and that they are editing these conversations to make it look worse than it is. But the prosecution said that's not true. This is just a mistake from whoever was helping us make the graphics. So when they pull it out of the phone, it's basically all just little lines of text, and there's thousands of them. What they do is they just take the bits that are relevant to this particular court case, because a lot of it's like, oh, I went down the shops today and I bought a Coca-Cola. Like, that's not really relevant to the trial, and it's just going to waste the jury's time. So they edit that stuff out and they just show you the bits that are really important, and are about the court case. And they were saying they don't edit anything, but they do make it look like MSN Messenger or iPhone app or something like that. They just graphically enhance it, but they don't add anything. And the judge accepted that explanation. He denied the mistrial, and he basically said he can't ask the prosecution to change the way they do things now because it takes months to prep for trial. He just said he would take any objections as they come during the trial. So if anything else like this comes up, they can object and they'll deal with it. But no mistrial. No mistrial. Yeah, there's your explanation of that. Sort of. Sort of, but when you read it, it says, we did. When asked if she and Hunter are a couple, Megan responds to Erica more or less. That's not a message. That's someone taking notes when they're reading through the, whatever came off the phone. This is someone like writing a composite of the things they're seeing on the screen from the phone output. Yeah, it's not that at all, but it's sort of a yeah, it's all in one. I'll show you. They do show you a different one later on. I think they edited it during the break. Let me see if I can find it. So this is when they have the another objection and they talk about it a bit more, and it's very boring. And then they go on a recess for a period of time. All right, we have to go through the recess. It's very boring. Let's see if we go back to the court case, because when they come back, they show you a same thing, but it's been edited. Let me see if I can find it. Here. Oh, is it this one? No. Okay, here. So I think this is what it's supposed to look like. This one here. It says here, we and Hunter are coming tonight. We tried to come on New Year's. I often try to come on New Year's. But there wasn't a service. Yes, that's what happens when you don't come on New Year's. You don't get a service. It says here, her friend says, I've been worried to death about you. Are you okay? Did you and Evelyn have a good Christmas? She says, my phone is broken. We did. Did you all? I think that's the same thing, but just edited better. At least I think so. It's basically the same thing, and then that big bubble is not there anymore. So there's the different one. It was a close call. I don't think so. I don't think that judge was ever going to mistrial over it. It looked like he'd already made his mind up, like early on. He was trying to find excuses to help the prosecution very, very quickly. Yeah, I don't think so. Summer, hey Summer, how are you? Summer says the whole case is beyond disgusting. What do you mean? Oh, you mean the actual thing? Megan is the worst liar. Well, she is. So sometimes a phone records your voice to text. That's happened to me. It does it to me all the time. It always wants to think I want to order a pizza, and I'm like, that's not it. I'm trying to call my friend. I don't want to order a pizza. I think my phone just assumes I'm hungry all the time. Let me see if I can find that interview because I really want to show that because we showed the. Here it is. Finally, we can either look at the interview from Maggie, this one, or we can look at the photographic evidence from the Playhouse thing. Which would you guys like to listen to for a second? Maybe this one. All right, we'll play the interview, and then I'll show you the photos.
How long did y'all live there? From well, I was there in October. She wasn't born until November, and I came home like at the beginning of February. That's when I came. So about a year ago. Okay. So you come home. Did she come with you? Yes. All right. And where's home for you? To my dad. Sorry. What's your dad? Where's your dad live? I'm Muddy Creek. Muddy Creek. All right. Okay. So you left foster care. You maybe went to dad. Did baby daddy ever come with you then? No. Nope. Okay. Where did baby daddy live? At the time, he was in like the army, okay, and he was in Texas for a little bit, and then I think he went back to like the base, wherever he was at. Okay, so where's he at right now? Well, they say he's in Louisiana, so I guess that's where he's at. Okay, all right. So we're back in February. You and baby went to your dad, right? How was that? What do you mean? Was it good? Y'all stay there long? No, we might not get into it all. All right, so that didn't work out very well. Where'd y'all go then? My grandma's was on there. When y'all go to grandma's? I guess in April. All right, so in April. 4th thing of April. All right, so you didn't stay at dad's very long. No. Baby go with you to grandma? Yes. All right, where's grandma live? At the bottom of the hill from my dad. All right, so she lives near dad on Muddy Creek. All right, so you all do with grandma. Is it just grandma or grandma? Grandma. Just grandma. So y'all know her since April. No, I moved out on my own in October. Okay. My dad owns a trailer park. Did baby go with you in October? All right. So you moved out of grandma in October, maybe where'd you move to? My dad's trailer park, off of like Sugar Hollow and Buffalo, it's called Boswell, mobile home park. Was it just you and baby? Yes, it's just me and baby. All right. So you and Evelyn get your own place in October. All right. So from October until now, walk me through. Okay. Ethan came. I went to Texas to see Ethan like a couple of weeks. When was that? November, December. Did baby go with you? Yes. All right. So you and baby went to Texas. Yes. To Ethan. Yes. Right? And that was the first time that he met her because he didn't really have anything to do with her up until that point. Okay. Okay. So sometime in December, me and Hunter moved in together. Hunter's boyfriend? Yes. Okay. But at that time, Evelyn was not with me when I started staying there because Ethan had her. All right. So when you and baby went to Texas in November, the first time she met Ethan, did she come back with you? Yes. All right. So y'all went to Texas, had a couple weeks. Yeah. She come back with you. And then walk me through from November to December. Okay. I had her up until me and her didn't start staying together until probably like the middle towards the end of December. Okay. So up until that point, I lived in the trailers at my dad's. Right. I never wasn't.
Do you notice how she automatically jumps over early December? Early December doesn't even read a mention. That lady asked her Tell me everything from this point to this point and don't leave anything out. And she's like, oh, you blew it. Oh, and then the end of December. And we all know now that Evelyn died early December. And she just skips over it like it's nothing. By the way, she looks at the camera frequently. She constantly looks up at that camera. Constantly. And it's freaky. It's almost like she knows the camera's there. And she's like, camera, am I being a good actress? Am I doing a good job? And she almost looks at it like she wants it to tell her, yes, you're doing a great job. Your theatrical performance is brilliant. Because it's chilling the way she looks up at it every time.
Any longer than like December 25th, because I was with Hunter on Christmas, and also that's when the lights got cut off because I just completely like moved all my stuff out. Okay. Okay, and then Ethan got hurt. When? On Christmas Day, me and Hunter, we came back from Pigeon Forge on Christmas Eve. Me, my dad, Hunter, like everybody took a trip to Pigeon Forge. And then Christmas morning, we came back and he got her then. Did he come up and get her? Did you take her to him? No, we took her to him. Where did you take her? Wherever his grandparents' house is, like a long gravel driveway. It's all part of town, Boswell. Okay, so it's local. All right. So what made you all take her to him? Because he's not been in her life. Well, because he was like complaining about wanting to know her. I mean, like that's her dad. I was trying to give him a fair shot. You know what I mean? Was your plan to leave her? No, I wanted to get her back. Okay, so but I wanted to let her have time to bond with her dad, and then after, like, did you stay there, or did you just drop her off and say sayonara? I mean, I sat there for a little bit, and then she was fine. She kind of returned from Texas. Okay, so let's back up. He texted you saying he wanted to be in her life, and he said, "Hey, I'm at Hardtown. I'm assuming." Yeah. So you say that would be great for you to be your daughter's wife. Yeah. So you and Hunter, or just you? Me and Hunter. You and Hunter take Evelyn.
I don't know if you noticed, but she implicates absolutely everyone. Hunter, Ethan, Ethan's grandparents. They would have all witnessed this handover of the child. It's a very easy lie to shatter. And she just doesn't seem to care. She's like, oh, I'll just tell them any old crap and hope they believe it. You know, that's a very easy thing to double check. And I believe at this point, they already know that Ethan does not have that child. I think they've already been to his base in Texas and interviewed him. And they know that he does not have that child. So they're literally letting her talk and spin whatever bullshit she wants to because they just know that she's not telling the truth. And you see that later on. There's another interview where they basically tell her, you're full of crap. We know you're full of crap. Start telling us the truth, or we're going to charge your ass with like making false reports. And she's all like, can I leave? I want to leave. Why can't I leave? And they're like, well, you know, you can leave. And yeah, she goes, well, I want to leave. And apparently she never did that night. They did let her go from that office, but as soon as she crossed, apparently their two offices are joined. I think it's the police and the investigators for the state, TBI. They let her leave one, and when she crossed the threshold of the other, they just arrested her and charged her with the false reports to police. So she never left that night. They said she could leave, and she did, but only to cross over onto the other one, and then they arrested her. So they didn't lie. They just told the half truth, like she does. Summer says, Ping, you're so right. She pointed the finger at everyone. She just never at herself. Do you ever notice this? In all the interviews she does, not once does she ever say that she has ever done anything wrong in regards to Evelyn. Ever. There's a lot of mums in this chat, a lot of ladies who have children. Put yourself in this situation, your child has gone missing. What do you think the first thing you would say as a mum to investigators? I'm going to guess you're going to tell investigators it's my fault. I did it. My child is lost because I wasn't a good mum, because I didn't do a good enough job. It's me. I could have been a better mum. I guarantee you, 90% of you, that would have been your first thing you ever said to a police officer. had you been in a legitimate situation where your child was missing. I guarantee it. Because mums are so hard on themselves, especially uh, with something like that where their child is missing and could get hurt. They would just automatically blame themselves. And she doesn't do any of that. She doesn't take any responsibility. She constantly pushes it on men around her, especially, and just anyone she can find. Oh, it's Hunter. Oh, it's Ethan. Oh, it's his grandparents. Oh, it's my grandparents. Oh, it's my mom. It's my stepdad or whatever. Like, she just constantly pushes it to everyone. April B says, "Unbelievable how much she lies. I know we keep saying it, but good grief, it's astonishing. It really is. I don't think I've ever seen someone lie as good as this." Gayla says, "I would be crying and wanting to be out looking." Exactly. They offer to take her with them and say, "You can come look for Evelyn with us," and she says, "No, I don't want to do that." What mum wouldn't want to be the first one there to find her child? I promise, a mum who really has an authentic missing child would want to be the first person that touches that child when they are found. She'd want to be the first one who gives them a hug or picks them up or whatever. She'd want to be the one who finds her child. And she's like, "Oh, no, you guys go. You go to the house. I don't really care. I want to go outside." That's what she says. It's bonkers. Deborah says, "And you go into full panic mode when your child is missing." She's not panicked at all. They're like, "Oh, your child was last seen alive in early December." She's like, "Oh, yeah. So we went to Christmas and we went after that. And then I went to Ethan's and then it was something with Hunter. And then we went for a drive and I saw my friend. And then we went back and it was the 8th and it was the 12th and it was the 15th." She does a very similar thing that a lot of guilty people do, and they ramble. They just talk absolute nonsense for ages because they think that's what investigators want. They think by giving all these details that don't mean anything, that they'll satisfy investigators, and they don't, because investigators know when you're talking absolute crap. And they picked it up pretty quick with her. Gayla says, "I wouldn't be sitting laughing if she really thought her dad had her, but wouldn't give her back. She wouldn't have driven down there to get her. She would have driven down there to get her." Exactly. She didn't even try.
To where Ethan is, right? What happened then? Well, Ethan would not let me come on the driveway. He made me walk all the way up the driveway, and I walked up there first myself, and I was like, "You're being ridiculous. Let me pull up the driveway." To do 900 with me, and I told him how to come with me when I got there. Like, right out there, I called him, this is when I still had my own phone. I called him, and I was like, "Hey, like, I'm gonna come up there." He got her some stuff for Christmas, so I was like, "Okay, that's fine." I went to my brother's and got what he had gotten her for Christmas and stuff, and I was like, "I'll send it with you. I'll get her clothes and stuff, and we'll go up there." I was like, "That's fine." I was like, "Hunter's gonna come with me." And he's like, "Okay, that's fine." I get there, and he's like, "No, I don't want to come up my driveway." Okay. So first I walked up there by myself, I tried talking to let me pull up the driveway. So I really didn't walk her up there, what I'm saying. Walked myself back down, got her out of the car, and went back up there. Okay. And then I sat there for maybe like 23 minutes, she was fine, I left.
Megan Boswell, I only have one thing to say to you. No, we don't know what you mean. Stop saying that. She says it all the time. You know what I mean? No, we don't. That's why we're interviewing you. That's why you're being recorded. Because no one knows what you mean. No one has any idea what you mean. And no one knows where your child is. That's why you're in an interview room once again. It's not to have a coffee and some cookies. You're in there because they suspect you're full of crap. Thavi says, "I've had to call police because my son did not come home from school in 6th grade. I was freaking out, driving all over to look for him. I bet." Yeah, Megan is not a good mum, unfortunately. Yeah, she has brother. I think a brother, right? At least one brother. I think so. I don't know how old they are compared to her. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, look, I've seen a few people trying to excuse her behavior because of her upbringing. Like, her dad's been in jail, her mum's been in jail. But I got to be honest, there's other people that have had that life and they don't kill their child. You can't use that as an excuse. You can't. Always, we'd just be saying that to everyone. "Oh, you had a hard life. That's all right. You killed 3 people. That's okay. You had a hard life." You know, you get 3. You kill a 4th, we're gonna have to throw you in jail, but you get 3. It's okay. You had a hard life. It's not an excuse. Okay. Good night, my friend. It is very late, I know. Oh shoot, it is 5:30. Yeah, it is very late. I'm sorry. We started very late tonight. Um, Summer says she could have taken Evelyn to a safe place. Yeah, we said that the other night. There were ways out for Evelyn and Megan from the very beginning. One, she doesn't have to have the child. She could have, you know, the A word. The A word apparently that we're not allowed to talk about anymore because we're just not allowed to anymore. Um, she could have had one of those. She's only 18. I mean, I don't think anyone would have begrudged her if she did do that. I don't think anyone would have been, you know, mean to her. I think everyone would have understood, hey, you're a bit too young. Maybe you're not in the right space to be able to do that right now. Hopefully, you would have another child in the future when you're ready and able. She could have taken option number 2, which is she could have brought the baby to full term and then given it up for adoption. That would have been a very smart choice for someone who seems like a very immature little girl. So, you know, supposed to be an adult. She's 18, but she literally is like a tiny, like she acts like she's 9, like mentally. It's weird. She had other options as well. I heard from a few other people that there were people in Evelyn's life that either would have given given Megan or Megan respite from Evelyn. And what I mean by that is they would have taken Evelyn on for a period of time to give Megan a break. So if she couldn't care for the child for say a month or so, that there were people that were very willing to take Evelyn for a period of time to give her a break because they know that she's young, she's mostly on her own, and it's a lot. It's a lot to ask for an 18-year-old, even though there are 18-year-olds who have done it and done a great job, but they knew that it would be a challenge for her. So there were people that were willing to take Evelyn to take the pressure off her. There were also other people I heard that would have literally taken Evelyn full time forever. There were people in her life that would have adopted Evelyn and treated Evelyn as their own child. She didn't choose any of those options. Instead, she chose the selfish option, which is basically act like the child is nothing, neglect it, and it led to the child's death. I was talking to Mrs. Ping about that last night. I don't think we've actually heard. We know how she died. We know the manner of death, right, or cause of death. We don't know like how exactly it happened. Um, Mrs. Ping had a good point. She was like, I wonder if she went to work one time to be with Hunter and just left her in the cot and she rolled over or something and couldn't right herself and she asphyxiated. And then when she came home after being with Hunter for like, I don't know, 18 hours or something, she realized Evelyn was dead. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out when forensic comes in and does the medical portion of the trial. But it was a good insight from Mrs. Ping. Rachel said she could have given her up for adoption. So many amazing people want to adopt. I know. That is true. There are a lot of people who can't have children and would like that. Retired Aaron said, so grateful for the 16-year-old who chose to place her baby with us. Isn't that nice? What a good 16-year-old. I'm sure she was alive. I think they said she may have still been somewhat breathing. I don't know if that means she's fully alive or she could have been rescued if given medical attention. I don't fully know. I think, like, again, we'll find out a bit more when the forensics come in and start telling us more about how they found Evelyn and the autopsy and what they found and this and that. We'll know a little bit more about that. Multiple points of asphyxiation. Multiple. How would that work? I'm not sure. Did we hear if it was mechanical asphyxiation or just asphyxiation? Well, I would like to know about that. I would like to know. Did they say mechanical or just asphyxiation? Angela says 4 points. That's a lot of points for asphyxiation. Normally you get 2 or less. That 4's a lot. That's weird on a baby. 4 points. That's odd. Summer says I agree with Mrs. Ping. Yeah, it's a good guess. That's right. She was a real baby. Very cute baby too. She's so beautiful. Those photos of her, she looks like the sweetest little child. Where's Rachel? So multiple points of asphyxiation mean when you asphyxiate someone. So what's the best way? If you were going to strangle someone with a rope, you would have 1 point or 1 point of asphyxiation around the throat, right? So 4 points means there was multiple pressure points that caused the asphyxiation. So I find that really interesting. If they're saying like multiple points, like how does that work? I'd like to know that. I did see that. They said they wouldn't show the face of Evelyn after they found her because the blanket had made imprints not only on her neck but on her face. So apparently it had made like impressions on her head, and they said they didn't want to show that to the public, which I understand. Oh, still aluminum foil in her mouth the way she was folded the angle of it. I guess that would be 4. And the blanket being wrapped so tightly around it. That's brutal. Why would you do that? Silver foil. Yuck. It's so really raw. That's really gross. Yeah, rolled up in a ball of foil stuffed in her mouth. Also that she was unfortunately still alive. I think they said that she was still breathing. I don't know if they meant she was conscious or like just alive. Like there's differences. I don't know what the point is on her. That's brutal. That's where the premeditation comes in then, because that's premeditated. If the child was alive when put in the bin, and she did this and then placed her into that bin, that's premeditated murder. So, oh, that's really sad. I hate that. It is sadistic. You are right. It is very sad. Poor Evelyn, she didn't deserve that. She's a precious little girl. It bothers me because there were ways out for if Megan didn't want the child, that's fine. There's a lot of women out there who either get pregnant or have a baby and they just go, this is not for me. I this is not it's the wrong time in my life. I'm not a mum right now. That's fine. No one will think any less of you. I think they would think you're more mature and a smart person if you actually could see that within yourself and know that you're not coping and to find a way to deal with that. That would show maturity, right? But that's not what she did. It is so gross. Those photos of the bin, I still, I'm still getting some like mental trauma from viewing those photos. I still have some mental trauma from seeing the baby's leg and all. No, I don't want to describe it. Yuck. Ugh. Yuck.
When you and Hunter took the baby there, did you and Ethan have a talk about how long she was going to be staying with him? So you took your baby, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. Okay. You took your baby that you cared for since the day she was born to her dad's house that she's had nothing to do with, and you stayed for 30 minutes, and he was being an ass, made you walk all the way up the driveway, was being difficult, and you left your baby with this man Well, I mean, I trusted him, so I was like, it's her dad.
So just because it's her dad, you trusted him, and he's not been in her life at all.
Well, I mean, I try to give him benefit of the doubt. But I don't think Ethan's a bad person.
But this is your baby.
Right.
You see where I'm coming from?
I see that, but like, you also have to understand that was like your dad.
Okay, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to argue with you.
No,
I
no.
sound like I am, but
Well,
like,
this story, I feel like you're being honest, but there's a big chunk that you're not telling us. And I'm just gonna call it like it is, okay? Something within this story has happened. There's a huge chunk that you're just not telling us. I think you took her to me, probably around that time. But there's something missing, and we've got to find that missing piece, okay? And just looking at you, I can tell something ain't making sense. Can you gather that? Okay. She gathers it too. So you leave her at with Ethan on Christmas, all right? Walk me through from Christmas till now.
okay, he talked to me like the next day, and then he just kind of stopped like talking to me, not answering the phone, you know, and he got mad, and he got drunk, and he told me he was gonna come kill me, because he does that.
When was this?
I just did Kathy Lynch go to bed? She did, right? So I can swear now. Like, who gives a fuck? Who cares? Like all this crap she's talking about. Oh, Ethan got drunk and he called me the next day and then didn't call me and then he was gonna come and kill me. Shut up. Like, no one cares about this. They care about finding your child, and no one care about like all this random crap you're talking about. Like the stories are so just. I'm sure investigators had to be like, man, this bitch is crazy. Like, they had to have been. They had to be sitting there going, she's just taking us around in circles. Like, she's just literally think we all stupid. Like, that's literally what they must have been thinking. Like, she must think we're dumb and that we've never done a child missing case before. Gayla says, who was going to kill her? Ethan. Ethan. Sorry about the swearing. We do have a swear button, but it doesn't work. See? You guys can't really hear it. We haven't figured out how to hook it up yet. See? It works through my headphones, but you guys don't hear it unless I hold it up to the microphone. So, yeah, I heard it because I held it up. That's why. Summer says, why should this monster still be on trial? She should be buried under the prison she will go to. Actually, I have some concerns about the sentence. I was thinking about that today. I wonder if you guys actually realize that she could go free at the end of this trial. Does anyone realize that? That she could literally walk out of prison at the end of this trial, at the end of sentencing? I don't know if any of you realize that. I don't know if they're going to do this, but they could have, and I don't know why they didn't. If they could have got an expert to say that she had postpartum depression and that's what led to the downfall and degradation of Evelyn's, caring and things like that, and then eventual death, they could have sentenced her to around 4.5 years, 5 years, and because she's been in jail for 5 years already, they would have sentenced her to time served and she could walk out of jail. They could still do that. If they don't find her of guilty of first-degree murder, there's a very real chance that this trial will end and she will literally just walk out of trial. She'll just walk out the front door and they'll just say time served and it'll all be over. She will have gone to trial. She'll have been convicted, but she won't be doing any extra time because she already did it. So I don't know if anyone actually realized that, but it is very true. Jonna says, I love swearing. Me too. Me too. We try not to do it when Kathy Lynch is around. She gets a little upset about it. Tharvey says, that's why we got a swear button, but it doesn't work right now. April says, the playhouse was Megan's when she was a child. That is true. Was hers. I pray that she doesn't go free. I know. Deborah says, I don't think she will walk free, but she may have a lighter sentence than we want, depending on what the defense does. All right. She's never been charged before. This is her first time in prison. So she's considered a category, I think it's a category A offender. She'll only have to serve, I think it's like 40% of her sentence. So even if they sentence her to 12 years in jail, she still only has about a year to go. So wherever this ends, it doesn't end with a ton of. The only way she spends another 5 or so years in prison is if they can get her on that first degree murder. If they can't convince the jury on that, there's a very real chance she's out in 18 months or less. So yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure, Gayla. I'm not sure. I'm not saying that she wasn't or she is. I'm just saying if they could have got a expert to say that she was, which we've seen happen in a bunch of trials, who knows? Who knows what happens, right? It's a trial. Who knows where that goes? Thavi says she gets in front of him, maker, it won't be pretty. Well, that is true. Uh I don't know. I want to see what the defense comes up with. I want to see how they're going to prove Evelyn's cause of death. When I see that, I'll tell you what I think she might get. But I do think it's a very real possibility that it could end like that. I'm not saying it's a high possibility. I'm just saying it is one of the possibilities at the end of this trial that she could very much go free, either straight out of trial or only like 18 months after, because she is going to be a category A offender. It would take the judge to say that her offending is like very, well, let's use the word that everyone loves to use now, egregious. And it would take him to say you have to serve 80% instead of the category A, B, C, D, E, F repeat offender thing that they do. Um, yeah, I do think it's possible. I don't think it's very much. It's not very much. It's only a few. I think it's like a year in prison or something. It's not very long. Making a false report. I think it's only like 12 months in prison. It's not very long. Uh, I don't know. We don't know. We'll find out in a few days. I don't know if they're bringing forensic. I think I read they're doing forensic on Monday, but we'll see. I think they're still doing witnesses right now, and then eventually they're going to bring in medical and forensic. So we'll have to wait. I want to see what they have to say about that first. They could, but they'd have to prove that first charge, I think. Just my opinion, I'm not a lawyer. Just from my watching of trials over the last, decade. Flyb says the defense appears to show that MB was a good mother. uh, but in my opinion, once she met Hunter, that all changed. Nope, I don't believe that. I think that enough people showed that she was neglecting Evelyn before that. That people had noticed that like her diaper hadn't been changed, that she smelt, that she wasn't getting fed properly, she wasn't having the right type of food for a baby. Or I think for a small period of time, she did look after her, like when she was a very young infant. I believe that to be true. But I think when she got around that, later on, what was like around the 1 yearish mark, I think everything started to degrade. They found her. Do you guys want to see that location? I can show you where they found Evelyn. I think they showed it again today. Let me see if they've got the photos of it up here. Yep. So yeah. So this was when they were going through the items they found in that cubby house thing. In Australia, we call it a cubby house. So here's some like baby stuff. Like that's a onesie, I think. They said these are nappies down here in the left hand bottom corner. And they were saying that they showed some other stuff here. Like this is a car seat, I think, or is it a car seat or like a feeding seat? Like where you feed the baby? I'm not sure which one. But you can see here all where the baby's butt would be. There's a lot of staining, a lot of like, poop staining on the back of it. Now, babies are messy. That we know that. But don't think I've ever seen one that's so badly stained where the behind of the baby should be. That is very sad. And they've got other ones here. Like you can see brown staining here on the bottom of the baby's onesie, staining on the arm here. I think they showed another one. There's a trash bag full of clothes. Yeah, this was the one they did the close-up of. It's a little gross, I'm sorry. They're not gonna zoom in on it? Good. This one had a big brown stain in the bum area of the onesie suit thing, like, massive stain, like, as if the baby had either no nappy on or the nappy had overflowed, and she hadn't cleaned it, she just left it. Maybe they don't have the cubby. I thought they did. And there's a bottle that had mold in it, they said. That had never been washed, one of Evelyn's bottles. A blankie here. Yeah, there's that staining they were talking about. This is one of the, it shows a neglect for the child. It shows that she wasn't taking care of it. For a baby to get that messy and then you don't clean the clothes or whatever. And even here, look, there's holes in the clothes up here on the sleeve. So poor little Bubba. And they said here there was like they found a lot of medical syringes, not like for drugs or whatever, but for like the ones you give to a baby, like a dropper, like the ones you take the medicine and you give it to the baby. They found a lot of those and a lot of bottles of medication, nappy rash cream, that type of thing. There's some more like soiled blankets and things here. More like of that brown staining on the pillow. I think that's a pillow. But yeah, a lot of this brown staining everywhere, poop staining. It's really, really horrid. Let me see if I thought they did show the cubby house today. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me just scan through this very quickly. I thought we did see it. Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. Hold on, I'll show you. If you've never seen it, I will show you. Okay, it's not today. It must be yesterday. All right. Give me 1 second, my lovely people. I'm just going to switch videos. 1 second. All right, it's on this video. Let me just try and grab it just so we can all have a look. It's on here somewhere. I've watched so much court footage now, I can't remember where everything is. Is it down the end here? Nope. Is that it? No, that's a different property. Hmm. Yeah. So it wasn't that one. Maybe it was day one. Sorry about that. I'll just look it up. There is a photo of it. Mm. All right, let me try and just maybe it's on day one. I can't show that. Where's the other one? All right. Nope, not that one either. We're doing well tonight, people. Say ping sucks again. Here. All right. It should be just here. There we go. So this is the house. This is where they found Evelyn's body here. Let me make this bigger for us all. So this is where they found Evelyn's body in this little cubby house, playhouse. I don't know what you call it, a shed. It's pretty big though. It's got like an upstairs area and a downstairs. But this is where they found her body, and I'll scroll through a little bit for you. But there is a point where they do show Evelyn's body, and you can see just how piled with trash it was, just random bits of crap. Look, there you go. So if you haven't seen this before, this was through the trial on day 1, and look, it's just full of like raccoon shit and like mouse crap and droppings from birds and animals. And this is where you put your daughter. This is where you thought was a respectful resting place for her. In a bin with other trash, in a room full of trash. So you think your daughter must be trash. This is a bin where they found Evelyn's body inside of it. And they said the way they knew that this was something of substantial, evidence is because it looked a lot newer than everything else in this cubby house. Everything else looked like it had dust on it and spiders and, mouse poop or whatever. But this thing looked relatively clean and new. So they knew something was off about this. And that's why when they opened it, they went through it, they found Evelyn, unfortunately. So Evelyn was in this white bin in this trash bag. So I'm not going to go too much. Yeah. So the next one shows her dead. I'm not going to show that. If you want to look that up, you can look it up. But I do not want to see that photo ever again. I have no anything to see a dead baby. Never. I don't want to see that in my life. You like the term cubby house? That's the Australian term for it. So we'd call this like a cubby house. And that's what, you'd build your children to play in or whatever. They'd play like, you might put it in a tree or you might put it on the ground and they sort of play house or just hang out in it. Yeah, no, I don't want to see that ever again. That was horrid. Horrid. I've watched hundreds of hours of Serial Killer and Rex Human and what he did to the bodies of those women and stuff. Doesn't faze me. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. No worries. Evelyn in the bin. I'm like, I need some Mylanta. I need some painkillers. I need some eye bleach. Someone get some, like a toothbrush for my brain. I need some brain bleach, people. Uh, she didn't die there. She was most like what? She was placed there most likely. It's a bit of a muchness, but I get what you're saying. You call them a Wendy house. A Wendy house. Why? Did Wendy make it? Are they named after someone that made cubby houses? Summer Thunder said the detectives knew I feel bad for the LE. The detectives said as soon as they moved that bag even an inch, decomp just flooded the area and they were just like, oh, there's a dead body. There's a dead body. Like they just said the decomp just filled the room. And if you've ever smelt decomp before, I have, um, it is a smell that it just never leaves your nose. It is all perforating. It gets into everything. It gets up your nose. It gets into your mouth. It gets into your like back of your throat. It is awful. Decomp smells like, ugh. So yeah, they knew there was a body in there. Yes, yes, eye bleach. Yes. Apparently Megan's grandpa. Yes, he built it for her when she was a little kid. Yeah, those LE and I don't know if you listened to day one. On day one, they were told to unwrap her, like unwrap the body as gently as they could with the wrappers. And I was like, how do I quit my job? I'd just be like, oh, I'm sick today. I have the flu, COVID, pig thing, bird flu. I have the bird flu. I can't come in, but you guys have fun with that. I'll be in tomorrow. I don't want to do that. Jonna says, "Oh no, it's too. Yeah, it is too much." April B says, "I never want to smell that ever." No, you do not. And Gail says, if you've been in a giant chicken shed, all the poop that smell, it stays in your nose. Right. It's very similar, but decomp is more like full. It's hard to explain it. It's very thick. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just really overwhelming, especially when it's fresh, and it just sort of it's thick. It's like you could cut it with a knife. It's really hard to explain, but if you've smelt it once and you smell it again, you'll just be like, "Oh my god, there's decomp." Like it's just you know what it is. Yeah, it's sort of I know what you're going for. The jury, I know they can't look away. It's their job to witness all this evidence and come to a conclusion. They are very brave people, and the people who stuck their hand up and said, "Yes, I can be sequestered." They are being sequestered. Not they don't go home at 5 p.m. and see their family. They are sequestered, meaning they're back at a hotel. They don't get TV. They don't get their mobile phone. They just have to sit there and talk about the case. Actually, I don't think they're allowed to talk about it outside of court time. So they just they're on hold till tomorrow. Uh, well done to those people. Thank you for your duty. I appreciate it. It is a hard job, and to be sequestered is even harder. So, thank you for doing your civic duty to all the people on that jury. It is a proud thing you are doing. Hey, Robert, how's it going? High five? You do a high five? I could do that. High five for Robert. Yeah, it's a hard smell to describe. The the one thing I would say that comes sort of close to it is it's a mix between rotten, like an egg that's rotten and you've cracked it, and chicken that you've left out and let it rot and it's gone off. Mix those two together and it's sort of close, but not really. It's sort of a similar smell, but it's bad. It's like you get it in your clothes, it ain't coming out. You get it into into your. That's why they wear Tyvek suits because it doesn't get out of anyone's clothes. It's awful. Rank. It is rank. Yes, they are. Very well done. Thank you to those people that said I can put up my hand and say I can do this. You are good people. Yeah, it's fun. Player B, hey buddy. They say they can't talk about the case until the case ends and the jury starts deliberating. Oh yeah, that's right. They're not even in. Sorry, I every time they go back to the hotel, I always think they're in the deliberation. Yeah, no, they can't do anything. They've basically got to go home and be like, "Oh, it's a long day of court tomorrow. Good night. I'm gonna get an early night's sleep. It's only like 6:30. I've had some dinner. I'm just gonna sleep because I'm not allowed to watch TV. I'm not allowed to research the case. I'm not allowed to talk to my family. I'm just gonna go to sleep and I'll go to court tomorrow." That's a hard job. It's not easy. Do they get paid in Kingsport? I know the one was it the Laurie Vallow trial? No. Yes, the Laurie Vallow trial. The jurors only got like it was like $10 a day. $10. And apparently that specific county where they did the Laurie Vallow trial had actually tried to bring in or they did bring in a new law saying that people on jury duty would get like 50, $60 per day to help compensate them for their time, fuel, traffic, displacement of their life. And they just went, nah, we can't afford that. We're not going to do that. We're going to go back to paying you like $10 a day. So these people that did the Laurie Vallow trial, they literally got like $300 for doing the trial. $300 for like a month. Like that's crazy. I would need some sort of games console. Yeah, every person on the jury should get an Xbox. You don't get any TV, you don't get any cable, but we'll give you a Wii. You can have you can play Wii in your bedroom. 18 a day in Arizona. Yeah, Idaho sucks. 10 days up. It's $10 a day plus miles. Yeah, it's crazy. Glitter says I read it costs about $3,000 a day just to sequester a jury, and that is including about 1,600 for the motel and 300 to 350 on meals. Yeah, well, I think it's more than that because the meals, right? They're really expensive, and they have to feed them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you sequester a jury, it's 3 meals a day, and they're not allowed to go to the shops or anything. I heard that there is a shopping thing they can do. So if you want like snacks in your hotel room, like say like you have a muffin every morning or something, there is like a request thing that you can do. I don't know if you pay for it or they pay for it, but there is some sort of shopping. Like say you're a girl and you're on the jury and you get your period and you're like, wow, shit, I can't leave, but I need sanitary stuff. They can get it for you. It's just I'm not sure how it works. It differs from state to state on how that works with a sequestered jury. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask the county clerk how they do it. Summer Thunder says they probably do, but it's not much money. Yeah, it wouldn't be much. No cell phones yet. No cell phones. Oh, actually, let's talk about this. I'm going to finish this up for today on Megan's stuff. It was a weird day at trial. They had a few witnesses. It was a sort of slow day. There was a lot of gaps in today. A lot of objections and sidebar. A lot of objections and sidebar today. But one of the interesting things happened right at the end of the day, and it was this. I'm going to show it to you. I don't know if I've ever heard of a cameraman getting in trouble before. By the way, here's some of more of the items I think they found. Look, a little onesie. They're saying I think this is the one they were saying had never been worn. That Evelyn had never worn it. There's some more kids stuff again, staining on it, more staining. There's a little pair of pants and a drink bottle. And there's some like nappy rash medication and I'm not sure what that is. A plunger? Is it like a suction plunger? I'm not sure. There's another thing. There's some nappy rash thing. I'm not sure what that was. I'll have to look that up. Some sort of medical bottle. All right. I want to show you this. Where's the bit? The judge gets really angry, and I want to show it to you because it's freaking hilarious. Is it here? All right. It's just here, I think.
All right, folks, with the media.
All right.
Now, I don't know how many times I said, listening news.
I know when the
You'll still be subject to subpoena. That's the phone. You can leave the courthouse, but make sure you're available. Do not discuss your testimony with any other witness, or allow any other witness to discuss their testimony with you.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna stop right there for today. You're gonna get tired of hearing these admonitions. I'm just gonna say that now. You're not to communicate with other jurors or anyone else regarding any subject connected with this trial. You're not to form or express any opinion about the case until it is finally submitted to you. You're to report promptly to the court any incident involving an attempt by any person to improperly influence any jury member or a juror's violation of the court's admonitions. You're not to read, watch, or listen to any news reports concerning this case. You're to decide this case solely on the evidence introduced in this trial. And go with the officer. Everyone, please stand. Maybe seated. The lawyers at the sideline. So you can duck. Look for what that means. Oh, okay. All right, folks, with the media. Now, I don't know how many times I said, don't put the camera somewhere and then listen to me. Your freedom depends on it. I don't know how many times I said, leading up to this trial, and the first day of this trial, that you're not to zoom in close-ups of the defense lawyer, his client, his computer, or the same for the state. I get a note from my assistant just a moment ago that you're zooming in on Mr. Scott's laptop to the point that you can see exactly what he was doing. That's an absolute violation of Rule 30. It's an absolute violation of this court's order. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you one more. If it happens again, the media will be excluded from the rest of the trial, and you'll find yourself in jail. Now, I know that there was another person in here running the camera earlier today. At least I thought there was another person in here, not you. Okay. You talk to whoever else is going to be operating that camera, and you had better heed my warning. Okay?
And if I did do that, it was inadvertent. I wasn't trying to shoot you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, my assistant came in here and she wouldn't have done it. And I told her to have the feed up in there and be monitoring it because I'm worried about the jury, but now I'm worried about attorney-client privilege. Okay? Don't let it happen again. Now, we'll be in recess till, I think we're going to start at about, do y'all want to start at 10 or 10:30? I was thinking 10:30 to about 4 tomorrow. If you have that many witnesses, you can lie. Huh?
All right, so there you heard it. The judge was not impressed. You heard what he said at the start. He said, "Your freedom depends on it." They are literally willing to hold these people in contempt of court if they break this rule, and it's rule number 30, which means you can't violate attorney-client privilege, which is basically what they believe the camera was doing was they were zooming up. And I don't think he did it on purpose. I watched through this and I had a look. I think it was unfortunate. What happened is the defense attorney here was leant forward and he decided to zoom in and then zoom up at this panel. And just as he did that, the defense attorney leant back so you could see like all the screen, all their notes. And I don't believe it was deliberate, but I think it was just really bad timing. I'll see if I can find it for you. It was somewhere around here. He goes to zoom in on the screen. Right here somewhere. I think it's almost maybe this shot here. So he zoomed up on this computer here and the tablet. And the feed we have is a little bit degraded, but I'm guessing the feed they have in the judge's assistant, legal assistant, I'm guessing they have like the crystal clear, like 4K. It's really really clear. The one we get is a bit pixelated because of encodement and compression on YouTube, so it's a little not as great. Actually, what levels do I have it on? Let's have a look. Oh, well, no, I've got it on the highest one. Yeah, so it's only 720 for us, but I'm sure coming out of that courtroom it's 4K, which is a lot higher. But yeah, so they zoomed up on this. You can see their notes. It is sort of breaking attorney-client privilege, and any notes they may have written could jeopardize the case if it gets out. It could ruin their defense, that type of thing. So he's not playing, and those camera people got to be a little more careful about pointing the camera up. Don't be down. Have it up, because one, we don't want to be kicked out of court. We want to keep watching. and it would be a real shame if they did that, because it means we would have to stop following it live, and it means we wouldn't know much more about it. April B says plenty of trials have been zoomed in on. I get it, but I don't think they're doing it on purpose. No, I don't believe it was like malicious or on purpose. I think he was literally trying to focus and then go up. And just as he went to focus, the guy leant back, and you could see kind of a lot more than you could beforehand. But yeah, you just got to be a bit better with it, unfortunately. Jonna says he better be extra careful tomorrow with his zooming in and moving around the cameras. They can put a bar on the camera or tighten it so it can't go so far down. That might be a strategy they use with the camera. So there is no way they can go too low and too in. So we'll see. We'll see what they do in the morning. But the judge was not happy. He's like, your freedom depends on it. When a judge says that to you, you better listen. Why have them at that angle? They can see the computer screens. I heard it's because they don't have anywhere else to put the camera. Apparently, it was something to do with the courtroom config. They were looking at putting it on the other side, but it's something to do with the jury, that they didn't want the camera so close to the jury or something. So I heard this from a news reporter who's working on the case out of Tennessee, that they were going to put it like further on that side, but the judge said something about the jury or something. So day one, you could see the prosecution computer fully. Yes, you could. They've done it a few times, unfortunately. I think they've been warned. I don't think this is the first warning. I think they've been warned twice. Twice now? 3 times? I know they had a sidebar where they warned them another time. Let me see if I can find the one from day one. I know they've been warned a couple of times. Actually, is the camera on a different angle on day one? Is it slightly in a different place? It looks like it. Maybe they're gonna have to set it up on a different angle. Let me see if we can see that close up. This is day one. I mean, it is sort of zoomed. You can see here. You can sort of see some things on the computers. There you go. Computer's wide open here. Let me see if there's any other periods we can see. All right, Mr. Detective. Yeah, you can sort of see. There's the defense. The defense are looking like they're watching the live stream. They might have a more uncut one. Yeah, you could see it a few times on day one. Oh, hey, whoa, we're going too far forward. Sorry about that. All right. There we go. So, there we go. Yeah, so at 10:30 a.m. local time tomorrow, they'll be back into court. So you can watch the trial in a few different places. Law and Crime is having it. I know Court TV is also showing it. Some of the local channels, shout out to the local affiliates, because I think the local affiliates are the heartbeat of news coverage for their area. We should give them a lot of the kudos and respect. They're the ones who bring you a lot of the coverage. So thank you to WCYB, WJHL. I think there's a couple of others who are doing it. I think it's WJHL, WCYB. Are they the only two? I thought that and Fox. No, WBIR Channel 10 is also doing it. So those three, WBIR, WJHL, and WCYB. Yes, thank you to those 3 news stations for their coverage and commitment to quality journalism. I appreciate it. And thank you for letting me pinch a little bit of your video each night. I do appreciate it. So visit them. I personally use WCYB is the one that I use each day. I find it's quieter than the Court TV and the Law and Crime, and there's not as many people talking crap in the comments. So I like to go there where it's a little quieter. So All right. Are we done? I think we're done. Oh, I got one more story. One more. We're not going yet. We're not going yet. Hold on. I did exactly what I said I wouldn't do. I said I'd do more true crime and I didn't. And so many people are going to be pissed off. We got like no comments on the show last night. So that tells me that people don't like me covering the trial. People don't like me doing trial coverage. I want to show you this. Australian teacher who identifies as a cat accused of hissing at students and licking the back of their hand. They're saying a high school student who allegedly identifies as a cat has been accused of hissing at students and licking the back of their hands in class. The bizarre classroom behavior was witnessed by students at Marsden State High School in Waterford West in Queensland. The teacher is seen wearing a black and white cat ear headband in class and at school assembly in photos first obtained by the Courier Mail. Students allege the teacher asked to be referred to as Miss Purr and wears a lanyard with the word Purr on it. A relative of one student claimed the teacher had hissed at them after they failed to answer a question or pay attention in class. The teacher sits in class and licks her hands. It's absolutely disgusting. Something needs to be done about it. And here's a photo of the teacher who apparently identifies as a cat and hisses at students when they don't answer questions. What the F? Who does this? Yeah, this is pretty. I don't care if you identify as an octopus. If you want to identify as an octopus, I'm with you because I like octopus. But you do that on your own time. Don't be like coming to school dressed as an octopus. I don't think anyone would appreciate it. Yeah, straight to the pound. I'm not sure. Students deserve a quality education. They really do. And I think you're taking away from that by being the sole sort of, reason everyone's talking in class. They say another parent said they wanted their child to have teachers they can look up to, and which isn't someone who wears cat ears. One mum alleged the teacher made her daughter purr for a lolly, which is a candy. A spokesperson for the Department of Education said the behavior wasn't acceptable in Queensland schools. The teacher is aware of parents' concerns and the principal has addressed the issue directly with the teacher. Teachers are held to the highest standards of professionalism and ethics. According to the Daily Mail, they have contacted that school for more comment. And here you go again. Teacher who identifies as a cat and likes to hiss at students and be called Miss Purr. I don't know what to tell you except for you can hiss at home. You can be a hairless cat at home all you want. But maybe not with the students. She's a perfect example. Jonna says that's mental illness, not cute or funny. No, it is not funny. Gayla says I would have to identify as a dog in her class. Are you gonna bark at her and hope? I don't know if it is a her. I'm not sure. It just says a them. At least I think so. Hold on. It doesn't say. I'm not sure if it's a female cat. Well, it must be because it says Miss Purr. It would say Mr. Purr if it was a boy cat. Apparently, it's a female cat. So there you go, female cat that teaches class at Marsden State High School. Ay, what is going on with the world? Miss Kitty. That's right. She must have thought it was out of line. You're gonna chase her out of the classroom? Yeah, so it must be a girl. It must be a girl cat. It must be a female cat. Too bad it's not a female dog, because it seems like a bit of a bitchy thing to do. All right. Yeah, that is my weird story of the night for you all. The lady who likes to say that she is a cat and teaches classes in Australia at a high school. I don't know what else to tell you about that. All right, I know we've done a lot on Evelyn Boswell recently. I'm sorry that maybe some people are not happy with the trial coverage. I'm sure we'll get back to more random stories, but this particular trial is really important, and I really do want to make sure we cover it properly. So, Glitter says if it's a boy, I think he doesn't want to be called our puss. Oh, he is a bit of a puss. But I heard she thought she had a rat in her classroom. That's how you keep them away. You dress up as a cat. Yeah, I hope she's been spayed. Maybe. Oh, I heard about this thing the other day. Did you guys all hear about this? There was a woman in like she's a politician in the USA, and she sterilized herself. Did you hear about this? She sterilized herself because she doesn't want to live in Trump's America, and she's worried about female healthcare while Trump is in power. Did they stop making condoms? Is that what they did? Did your ass become a place where you can't deposit that anymore? You know, is that not an option? Is your ass busy right now? Like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? She's young too. She's not even that old. What if she changes her mind? What if she's well, I mean, some people might be like, well, we saved the genetic pool. We saved the genetic pool from more of these people. But I think what if she changes her mind and she finds a different partner in 10 years' time? What if she decides she wants children? It's really sad. It's really sad. When I read it, I didn't laugh at her. I felt sad for her. And you know, I thought, what a very sad and confused woman. I thought that is an awful thing to go and do. There's too many women in this world who can't have children. That is not their choice. To be one of these women who, you know, does this for some sort of political point scoring makes you a very sad individual. It makes you someone who may need mental health help for real. It's not a joke. I'm not making fun. You literally may need some mental health because that doesn't sound right. Jojo said she'll be alive to change it. She could die as the law is now. What? Oh, that woman? Well, she won't die. Joanna says, thank you for covering the case. I appreciate it. I thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm very appreciative. Glitter says it happens a lot. They change their minds or they realize what they thought about one thing wasn't what they thought. Yeah, it's really sad. Yeah, I'm not sure what she thinks. No, there's still states in America that do a word. The one that's the one that starts with an A and ends with ocean. Yeah, that one. There's still states in America that freely do them. It's not every state that's locked down. I think that's yeah. You can still fly. I don't think they enacted that law, right? I don't think they ever brought in that law that stopped people from traveling from one state to another, did they? I know they were thinking about it, but I don't think they did. There's still a whole lot of states in America though that it's illegal to use birth control. Is it? No. It's legal in every state, right? I think you can't use things like the day after one, like what do they call it, Plan B or whatever. I think some places have restricted that, which I don't think is great either. I think they should have the option of doing that. But like, wouldn't you rather have that? Wouldn't you rather a girl go get a tablet from a pharmacy and instead be like, you know, we got a problem now. We got more bloody babies to, you know, adopt or something. Like, it sort of solves the problem within 24 hours, right? Ah, they did bring that in? Interesting. What is it? Where did you write that? Yeah, it's that it's still legal to use birth control. Yeah. Like I said, there's some good ways you can avoid that. I mentioned a couple of them. You know, that way you can be 100% sure you will not get pregnant. Jojo said this is very tough. There's been a lot of women that have died. I know we did a few of them on this channel. I'm just saying that I don't think that's a very clever idea. I mean, I just it's a weird thing to sculpt. I think there's other ways she could have got a point across, is what I'm trying to say. I think that's such a drastic thing. Because you don't know who you're gonna be in 10 years, right? You really don't. You could be a completely different person in 10 years' time. And I think I feel very sad for her. I do. I know how many women have died from it. I know probably more than most men. Jonna says it would be even better to have birth control pills over the counter. Uh, there are some complications with birth control pills that can actually cause some women to be like blood clotting. There's some women that actually react really poorly with the medication and can get blood clots and things like that. So I don't know if they should be over the counter. I still think you should have to have a GP appointment so that you can go through your risk factors and things like that. Yeah, but I still think it should be easy availability. Glitter said so. Basically, it was supposed to say there was a whole lot of states in there that it's legal to use birth control for men and women. You'd hope so. If I fly through the USA and they don't have a condom machine in the bathrooms of an airport, I'm going to be sorely disappointed. Where else am I going to get all my French ticklers from? I mean, that's my only supply line. USA airport bathrooms. uh you don't know if she almost died from that before. I'm talking about birth control. I don't know. I don't think so. I think did she? I just saw it a headline about her. Gail said I got very ill and had to have injections. Yeah, some women react poorly to it. That's what I mean. I'm not sure about just handing it out over the counter. I think you may actually have the reverse thing that you actually want to happen. There may be more women who actually end up in hospital because they're taking something that's not quite right for them. So I think access is important, but I think medical supervision is also important to make sure everyone's getting what they need and the right amount and the right one. There may be side effects with this one, but not with that one. It's hard to just, ask a pharmacist about it. Oh, when it comes up in a wanted pregnancy. What? She died from a wanted pregnancy. I mean, I get there's complications with that too. Thavi said, I can't take birth control because of chronic migraines. Some women just think they turn into a giant bitch for like forever. And they're just like, they can't handle the hormone manipulation that goes onto it. And they just think they're going mental for like the whole time they're on it. I'm serious. It's a real thing. Some women think they literally are just crazy on it. And it pumps them so full of hormones that uh, they don't like the feeling of it, and they don't take birth control because they don't like who they are on the birth control. See, Ping's done his research. Ping knows. Ping's weird, all right. A whole big old bag for free. Yeah, just order them on Amazon. I don't recommend doing the shot. The shot, it was bad for me because my bones get rid of. I broke my wrist. Oh my god. After that one shot. Oh, you mean you got like brittle bones after the shot, like it zapped you of calcium. That's not good. Rachel said we have a state health department that does a pretty good job offering care for women. In America, I know that it is different. We can get them for free. I think in the UK and Australia that they do free birth control. I think you just have to go to a clinic. Sometimes. Jojo said if you're having complications, the hospital will not abort the baby anymore, even when the baby is killing their mum. Is that true? I thought that was only in some places like Florida. Like I know Florida's pretty messed up. I thought that was only in like some places, but I could be wrong. I haven't fully kept up with it since the Roe v. Wade thing. I just thought it was only in some place because they sent it back to the states, right? So it used to be a federal thing, and the reason they didn't want it, the reason Trump or whatever didn't want to continue with Roe v. Wade was he wanted to have each state to have their own decisions, basically. I don't know what if it's everywhere, if it's a federal thing, it's a local thing. I have no idea. It's loads of places, really? That's not cool. I know Catholic hospitals 100% will not do it. They won't do any kind of tubulation or anything like that. Weird. April B says the new generation, Gen Z, aren't having children. They say they don't want children. I'm not Gen Z, I can't tell you. All medication is synthetic. I don't even like to take Advil. I Good for you. I hope that you never get migraines, my friend. Sometimes Advil is like, oh my god, thank you. Please take away my migraines. Because I get bad migraines from eye strain. I get a really bad eye strain from using the monitor a lot. Glitter says it's going to turn into a Handmaid's Tale in real life. I've heard that joke from comedians before, that it's going to be like the Handmaid's Tale. I literally had to quit watching The Handmaid's Tale. I couldn't keep watching it because I got terrified. What, like it was some sort of like premonition of the future. But like I get what Jojo's saying. I think yeah, it is difficult. It's not, but I don't know if it's a good idea that you should sterilize yourself or anything. Glitter says I get really bad migraines. I can't take ibuprofen anymore, and I sure miss it. It's really bad for your stomach. Don't be taking ibuprofen without eating. It'll literally strip your gut. Don't do that. Make sure you eat something that has some fat in it, like a yogurt or like a muffin or something like that. Something like that. Don't be eating that on an empty stomach. You'll end up in hospital eventually. Get the daith piercing. For me. What is it? I don't need it. I'm good. The sauce bottle I have, it's all fine. We don't need anything like that. What is it? What is a daith piercing? Oh, yeah, I thought you were talking about contraception. What is a daith? Daith? Hold on. Daith or whatever? Hold on. What is this? It's piercing through the inner cartilage fold of the ear. Why would this be good? I don't understand why this would be a good thing. I know people who have it. What does it do for you? Yeah. Is it good? Is it good for migraines? They say the piercing has become popular as an alternative treatment for migraine headaches, although the evidence for it is mostly anecdotal. Some people believe that tragus piercings could work in the same. What is a tragus? What is a tragus? Is that the same thing? Okay, I don't know what the difference between these two things are. Oh, one's on the other one. Okay, I get it. No, I'm not going to do that. I used to have this pierced up the top. I still have the hole. It's still there. I used to have this up here, and I used to have a sleeper through here, but I took it out many years ago. Fun thing about Ping, you might not know. I used to have a breath piercing. Is that what you call it? The one under the lip. I used to have that pierced too, but I took it out many years ago, and I don't have it anymore. It's healed over. I don't think I can even pierce it anymore. So I used to have that done under my lip, bottom lip, and then I had this here done here at the top, but I don't have it anymore. I took them out. I have no piercings anymore. No more. Oh, it helps with migraines. I've never heard that. It's like reflexology and a pressure point for migraines. I'll look more into it. I'm not really keen to get any more piercings, so. Glitter says it's kind of like some people believe if you squeeze between your thumb. I had a really bad joke just then. If you squeeze between your thumb and your first finger, then it'll make your headache grow. Okay, that's amazing if it works. Yeah, I've not heard of it. April B says I know someone who had to resort to getting Botox. Yeah, I've heard that too. Some people that get really bad migraines get Botox to stop the muscles or something contracting, and it's part of the pain process of migraine or something. I'm far too pretty to have Botox at my age. Jojo says I catch my rings on everything. And I can't imagine a face piercing. You just get caught on like barbed wire fence. I love tats and piercing. I have no tattoos. Ping has no tattoos. I used to have some piercings. I don't anymore. I have no tattoos. Ping has clean skin, no tattoos. But should the 49ers win a Super Bowl, I have always said that I will get a 49ers tattoo. So we got close. They almost won one a few years ago, and then last year they almost won one, and Ping had to go get a tattoo, but they lost both of them. If they ever win, Ping will go get a tattoo of the 49ers Super Bowl trophies and the logo and my favorite player who is George Kittle. I love George Kittle. George Kittle is my favorite guy ever. Glitter says pierced and tattooed up. My oldest son is a tattoo artist in San Antonio. Yeah, I know. I get sinus headaches. You just want to lie down and sleep in a dark room. I don't tend to get sinus headaches, although I did have some like hay fever. Do you guys remember that? Ping had like hay fever this year for the first time in like I don't know, 20 years or something, and I had to go get whatever this is. Like, what do you call this stuff? Flonase. I had to start taking Flonase because I was getting really bad sinus congestion and hay fever from the particles or whatever. The what do you call it? The pollen. The pollen in the air. No tattoos for Jojo. Glitter says right, but your child doesn't see it that way. They think you should pay pay double with a big tip. That's right. You have to pay double with a big tip if you get a tattoo from your child. Gayla says I take meds for sinus problem. Interesting. Yeah, I had terrible. Do you guys remember that? I had terrible hay fever. Couldn't talk. My eyes were watering. My nose was really like my congestion in my like sinuses was really bad. Haven't had hay fever since I was like a little kid. And just something about this year, just something about the pollen that was in the air really set me off. And I was feeling like crap for about 2 weeks. Jojo says get a neti pot. I'll have a look. They have the new ones. Have you seen those new ones that are like a vacuum? They advertise them on those shopping things, and you put it in your nose, and it does it automatically, so you don't have to pour it out or whatever. It just sort of goes in your thing, and then it comes back out. Jonna says it helps Ping. I'll have a look. I'll have a look. Hey Nick, how are you? Good to see you, my friend. April B says no tattoos, but I want a mini tattoo of Paul's print on my wrist, like a porn star. Like a porn star. Glitter says same here. My eyes kicking. Oh, how terrible! It's the weather. It's all those modifications to the weather. A nose vacuum. It is like a nose vacuum, Jojo. I'll have a look. You have to use Flonase every day. It's pretty good, but it makes the back of my throat numb when it runs back like through my nose and back down my throat. It makes like the top back of my throat numb a little bit, a little bit, like you're doing a whole bunch of cocaine. Gayla says, yeah. All right, hold on. I have to check something. Give me a sec. By the way, I haven't seen my friend, Miss Howard. I hope you're doing all right out there. I'm worried about you. She hasn't left me a comment in months, and I hope she's okay. Gayla, she's your friend. She lives in Scotland. I hope she's doing okay. I haven't heard from her in ages, and I hope she's doing okay. I look for a comment every night. Every night I say, I wonder if she left me a comment because I wonder how she's doing in Scotland. So I hope she's doing okay. I hope you're not under the weather or something. All right, give me one sec. Oh, her last name is Howard. I'm now having a mental blank, but I remembered it before. Um, she used to reply. She used to leave a comment every night. Let me see. I just want to check one thing before we go. there was an Amber Alert out of Wisconsin and Arkansas, and I just want to see if it's been resolved or not. No, it's still up. So that's Sophie Franklin, and they're still looking for her. That's that young girl. That guy, she's with that 40-year-old man, and she is pregnant. They're saying, yeah, they are still looking for her, unfortunately. So around Wisconsin or Arkansas. Oh, come on. All right, fine. Yeah, so they are still looking for her. They're saying Sophie is 3 months pregnant, and this 40-year-old man here, Gary Day, is the father, and he's also been done for hurting a baby. They're saying in May 2020, he pleaded guilty to a charge of endangering the welfare of a minor and was given 6 years of probation. Court records showed Dave violated his probation in September 2023. He was arrested and posted a $5,000 bond in November 2023. One of his conditions of his release was that he not leave Arkansas. They say he was charged in Lonoke County, Arkansas, in July 2023 with second-degree domestic battery in a case that involves a young relative. The child's mother told police that Day lost it, grabbed the child, who had climbed on an entertainment center and ate toothpaste in the bathroom. In an interview, the 4-year-old described for detectives how Day would at times get mad and turn into the Hulk and raise his voice. The case was dismissed in May 2024 when prosecutors conceded they were no longer able to prove their case. But they are still looking for him. Yeah, this is very interesting. They say Day was subsequently charged with interference of a child custody and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Sophia spoke with investigators before she later returned to Wisconsin. At the time, Sophia told police that she had been living with Day since August and they planned to get married. She initially denied they were sexually active. Oh, yeah, but you live with the guy? He's definitely getting into that every night. Police don't believe you. But later admitted the two had been having sex, of course. Staley said Day's mother called police in Austin earlier this week to report her son failed to make an appointment. They said it's not our case, but we're watching every address we know, trying to locate Gary Day. And it's this car that they're looking for. So they're looking for this 2012 Buick that they believe is connected to the disappearance of the both of them, Gary Day and Sophia. So they are looking for this guy, Mr. Chrome Dome, and Sophia, this young girl here. So they are still on the lookout for both of them. That Amber Alert still active. So he's 40 and she is 16 years old. In Wisconsin, it is a crime to have sex with anyone under the age of 18. The age of consent there is 18. So she's 16 having sex with a 40-year-old. It is against the law in Wisconsin. Could be. Could be. Yeah, he's been charged with hurting children in the past. Gale says he must have a really hard paper round as he looks closer to 60. He does. Yes, and he keeps changing the number plates. It being Arizona and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and Arkansas and Wisconsin. He's been changing them quite a lot. Oh, you want his photo? All right. Hold on. I'll go to the Amber Alert. Let's go to the Amber Alert. All right, here we go. There you go. Dun dun dun. Suspect. He is a little bit suspect. Just a little bit. He has "I'm a little bit suspect" written all over his face. You look at him in the public and you'd be like, yeah, that guy is a little bit suspect. See, it even says it under his photo, suspect. I think it's a description, not actually who he is. Like, they're like, yeah, that guy's a little bit suspect. They're saying here, Amber Alert, the vehicle has utilized various license plates. The vehicle was seen on the morning of the 3rd of Feb in Wisconsin with a Pennsylvania license plate of KGW 5186. The license plate state changed from Arizona to Arkansas. Sophia Franklin was last seen at her residence on 9 p.m. on the 2nd of Feb. She is believed to be with Gary F. Day. He was last seen at her residence on the 3rd at 7:48 a.m. in the morning. There is a current no contact order between Gary and Sophia. Sophia is 3 months pregnant. And there is Sophia's photo here. Very nice looking young lady. Yeah, hey, good work. Hey, good work, Thavi. I'm glad that is working out for you. Summer Thunder says he is a creep. He is. He is a little bit suspect. Yeah, definitely. All right. Hey, I love you all. It's been a very late show tonight. We've been on for quite a while, actually. We've been on for over a couple of hours. Hey, I love you all very, very much. It's been a great show. I've enjoyed it. And I'm so sorry it's so late at night, but we got back very late from our trip to the market. Oh, by the way, hold on. So we're at the market today, and there was a guy there that makes handmade Turkish delight. And we were like, oh yeah, we like Turkish delight. So we bought some, and it's the nicest stuff. It's not even like Turkish delight. It's almost like homemade candy. I'll show it to you. Let's see if I can open it up. So they're like these little candies. They're like little tiny Turkish delights, and they're all these bright colors, and each one is a different flavor, like apple, pineapple, orange, mango. They're like these little tiny like little square things that are covered in like powdered sugar. They're so good. Sorry, now you gotta listen to me chew it. Sorry about that. What is a Turkish delight? Hold on. You've never had Turkish delight before? So Turkish delight is like a gelatinous, it's like a desserty thing. They normally are rose flavored, so rose water. So they normally make them with rose water. But these ones are made with fruit oil. So there's all these fruits and things like that. Yeah, it's like a jelly, like a gelatinous thing. Yeah, they're so good. Yeah, so this guy makes it handmade every day. And these are so soft, they just melt in your mouth. They're so good. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, it's sort of like chewy kind of gelatinous as Ping eats some. I know, right? Sorry about that. I didn't mean to. It was hard to avoid it. But yeah, so we bought all these ones and you can choose all these flavors. They had like think of any fruit flavor, and I've never seen that before because normally they come in like rose or almond or stuff like that. They don't normally come in fruit flavors. And we found this great store at the market, and this little old man, he's like, "You want to buy some?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." And then he just kept throwing like different flavors in. He's like, "You have to try this one, the mango. It's really good." And he's like, "But this one is really good too. It's an orange one. You'll have to try the orange." And he threw like a bunch of orange ones in our bag. And he's like, "Here, please take. It's a good one." And he's like, "You come back another time, you buy some more." And I was like, "All right, I'll come back another time and buy some more." That's not the ones we bought, unfortunately. I can't find the ones. Hold on. Ah, is it that guy? I don't know. No. I don't think it's that one. I'm trying to. It's this little guy here. I found it. So this is the store here that we went to today. It's a little hard to see, but each of these little containers has a different flavor in it. And when we went there, it looked a little different to this. Above each of these containers has a little sign saying what like flavor it is and that. And it's this circular booth. And yeah, you just go there and pick out whatever flavor you want. And yeah, it's this little shop. This was the shop we went to in Melbourne. I know, right? It looks cool. I know he's a really kind old man. He just kept giving us free Turkish delight after we bought some. He's like, this flavor is the best. Try that. Yeah, it's like Turkish candy. Sort of like if you imagine a jelly lolly, but like ultra soft. Like really, really soft. Yeah, it's fancy. I think it was like $10 for like 100 grams, so it's not cheap, but it was just a treat. We just bought it. It was really nice. Sorry, I wanted to swallow it before I came back to the microphone, so you didn't have to hear me eat it. You mean the pink rack Turkish delight? Yeah, that no, it's not like that. No, no. Yeah, the stall's so pretty, right? Anyway, there's a lady working there, but it was a guy when we went, and it looks different to this now. It's got a different thing on the front of it. I wish I could show you. It's on Instagram, is it? Do they show you the ones that we got? Oh yeah, they do. Oh yeah, I see. I see a couple of photos. I don't see any photos that have like the little photos of the fruits like we had. Maybe he doesn't make fruit ones all the time. It is? Oh, is that him? Oh, there he is. Oh, I found a photo of him if you guys want to see him. What's his name? His name, oh, I don't know what his name is. Here he is. Here's the guy that we saw today, and you can see the buckets of them. Yeah, all these are all around the whole thing. They're all different flavors. Like we got blueberry, um, apple, strawberry. They had everything: mango, pineapple, any kind of flavor you could think of. And there's that guy we saw today. He was really nice. He was a lovely guy. Fry's Turkish delight is really tough though. Really, really chewy and like you almost pull out a tooth trying to eat it. Jojo says, very neat to see how countries do things. Yeah, I told Mrs. Ping when we were at the market, I was like, if you went to America, you would have a saltwater taffy stall that sells like fresh saltwater taffy. And she's like, oh, okay. But yeah, we'd never seen this before either. We go to the markets quite frequently, but not this market. We went to one that was in the city. And yeah, they're really good. Mrs. Ping keeps eating them. Hey, Mrs. Ping, can you take this back? Because Muffin wants to eat it. Now my cat wants them. Hey, take these. Yeah, he won't like it. All right, thanks. All right. All right. Yeah, we had fun at the market. What else did we buy? I got a chicken. What is it? I got a chicken meatloaf because it looked good, and I was like, oh, I'll eat that for dinner. And Mrs. Ping got some salmon because that's all she can eat right now. She can eat rotisserie chicken or salmon. Like that's it. That's all she can eat at the moment. Due to her surgeries and all that. That's all she can eat is like protein. Liquid or protein. That's nothing in between. Can't eat bread, can't eat vegetables, can't eat anything. So salmon or rotisserie chicken or liquid. Yeah, saltwater taffy. Actually, We're gonna have to talk about this sometime. But it is Girl Scout cookie season, and I need someone to send me Girl Scout cookies from the USA. I will pay you. I will pay you for the boxes and the shipping, but someone has to be very kind enough to go rob a Girl Scout and steal all their cookies for Ping and give them to me. And saltwater taffy. Mrs. Ping wants saltwater taffy. Gayla says, I love markets. I used to go to the farmer's market when I lived in Herefordshire. The vets are amazing. Why? Oh, she's got an illness. So she's unfortunately suffering with a really serious illness right now. And she's awaiting surgery. So awaiting surgery, unfortunately. Sort of like keto. That's what I told her. I said, now you're just on a keto diet, but like forcibly. You're now very trendy. But yeah, unfortunately, that's all she can eat. Which she says is very boring, and she hates it. But at least she can eat something. So yeah. All right. I love you all. I will see you tomorrow. It is very early in the morning. Peace out. Day 4 tomorrow of trial. I'll be there. I'll be there, and then I'll cover it for you. And oh, I didn't know they had an online one. No, I'll have to have a look. I doubt they send them to Australia though. But yes, if anyone wants to be kind and get Ping Girl Scout cookies, let me know. Like I said, I'll pay for them and I'll pay for the shipping. I would like some of those peanut butter ones. They're pretty good, and the caramel ones. They're good too. All right, I love you all. Peanut butter fudge instead of salt taffy. I don't think I've ever had peanut butter fudge. Sounds pretty good though. Well, it's like one of the only things she can eat. It's okay right now, but she doesn't eat a lot of sugar anyway. You can send them to someone and they can send it to you. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Thanks, Wendy. I appreciate it. Hey, I love you all. Hey, if you're not subscribed to this channel and you enjoyed tonight, subscribe under this video. Hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. We're trying to get up there in the rankings. We're trying to get a little higher to that 2,000 subscriber mark. So if you could, I would really appreciate it. And hey, if you made it all the way to the end, wow, you are one of my favorite people. I can't believe you made it all the way. What is it, like 2.5 hours of live streaming? So thank you very, very much. Have a great night. Bye. Bye bye. Thanks to the people like Gala and Moonlight View and Tharvi and Kathy Lynch who moderate the chat. I appreciate it. Bye. Bye bye. See you later. See you tomorrow for day 4. Bye.